1. What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us?
Speak rock, that's the team that I'm with. Speak rock, don't it make a lot of sense? Speak rock, yeah, we speak to each other. Hey young man, be a brother to another, Put the other things aside, throw away the fakeness. All my brothers got the key to achieve greatness. Let nobody bring you down when you tryna reach the top. Let them know what you represent, tell them speak rock. Let's make a change for the best. Let your voice be heard, let your words be expressed. Brothers and sisters, set a goal to the top. If anybody got your back, let them know it's speak rock.
Hey yo, Guap, that was dope. Hey, just gotta keep telling them what it is out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you already know, man.
Hey, we doing this one for the D. What up, though?
What up, though?
Yo, what up, though? What up, though? What up, though, brothers and sisters? This is your brother, Speak Rock. Oh, I am so excited and I feel so good. Man, look, it's 2018 still, but we're at the year end. You know, we're at the year end of this calendar. And look, man, we've been trooping for a minute. And look, we're just here together. I feel so good right about now. And I'm excited because I'm just ready to get into it. But as y'all know, I'm not alone. I'm not alone on this beautiful Saturday. Hey, look, I'm with my brother, the extraordinary teacher, a man I admire so much, a man I love dearly. He is here with us, here to bless us again. My brother E.T., the extraordinary teacher, Mr. Eric Thompson. What up, though, sir?
What up, though? What's going on, sir? I mean, Merry Christmas. And like you said, we almost embarking into a new year, but not a new God. Man, I did the math, man. I did the calculations, and I did the and determined the results, and I recognize that God has been good all this year. God, he didn't skip a day. He didn't miss not 1 hour, not 1 second, not 1 minute. He was never late when I asked him for something. He was always on time. I'm like the old saints say. He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. So I'm excited about what God's going to do today, what he did yesterday, what he's going to do tomorrow, and I don't doubt that the best is yet to come. I pray that that the Speak Rock Nation had a blessed Christmas and looking forward to what Speak Rock will be doing in the near future.
Absolutely, man. Look, once again, I'm gonna just share this with y'all again. We go ahead and get this out the way. Hey, look, get plugged in, get acquainted, get associated, become part of the team, become part of the Speak Rock universe. It's real simple, real easy. I'm on all the social media platforms. It's Speak Rock, SPEAKROC. That's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, that's on Twitter. Also, look at past content, listen to past content, good helpful information, especially with me and my brother E on my YouTube channel. Once again, social media handle, Speak Rock, SPEAKROC. You can't go wrong with it. Hey, drop me a line. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know how me and my brother E, how we sharing with y'all, how y'all like the show, what you want to listen to, what you got going on. And you can do that at my email, SPEAKROC. On top of that, be looking out. Be looking out. I'm going to be stepping out, making some big things happen. Executing more on my speaking platform. That's anywhere. That's at your churches. That's at your schools. That's at your local organizations. Whatever the case may be. Hit me up in my DMs. Hit me up at the email, speakrock@gmail.com. And we can go ahead and work some things out as it pertains to me coming out and, having a blessed time with you all, delivering a powerful message that can help build you, your family, and the community. So go ahead and do that. But look, let's go ahead and get right into it. My brother E is going to take the topic for today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what we're going to talk about. But we just going to get into it. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty excited. This is something different for us. And that's a good thing. Because I believe we're going to be doing something different coming up in 2019 as well. God has laid some things on my heart and my mind. Put some things in my spirit about changing some things up, making some things better, giving more insight, transforming the platform. And just to say, y'all got to know this, as seasons change, as you grow and develop, you transform, you turn into something else. Now, trust me, that which you turn into, it was always in you. It was always a part of you. You're just now getting to see it. And, I want y'all to be connected for this because it's going to be blessed. It's things that I have, that I've written down, that I've, put pen to paper, and things that I'm praying on, and to be able to be a blessing to, the Speak Rock Nation. So look, we going to make it happen. Without further ado, E, go ahead and bless us, brother. What we got going on for today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God is really, really faithful. The thing I've been thinking about for a few minutes, I'm quite sure you're familiar with. I'm quite sure the Speak Rock universe is familiar with it. It was a viral video of a high school wrestler in New Jersey, where a referee at Matt's side decided that his hair length was inappropriate. And I just have a few questions that I believe you can share with the Speak Rock universe as a father, as a believer, as a minister, as an ex-athlete, as an activist, as a coach, that can help us in this, shed some light or help us in regard to how do we handle difficult situations, or how do we handle things, and some of the questions that I want to approach to you and have you share with us is was this a Damascus Road type moment, a moment of destiny? Was this a Kairos type moment for the young man, a moment of purpose? Was it a civil rights type moment, a stand-up moment to be heard or be counted? I'm trying to, and I want to know, was it handled as team first, or was it larger than the team? And then I'm thinking, when I'm looking online, because there's an outcry and there's an outpouring. That's the people think that this situation was handled inappropriately, and then some think it wasn't handled inappropriately. I just want to know what you think. What's on your mind? What's on your heart about it? Do you think it was racially motivated? Do you think, given the history of the referee, because for those who don't know, he had a past of saying racial slurs and those things, and then we recognize that at the match side, he came late, missed the appearance. When we're talking about the referee, he missed the appearance check, so he comes to right before the match start and make the call that the gentleman didn't have the hair length wasn't appropriate. Then he makes the call to cut the hair right at match side. See, I need you to share with me, enlighten me on what kind of moment was this? Was this a Speak Rock moment? Was this a moment of destiny and purpose for the young man, or was this a lot to say about nothing? Help us out with this. I know I said a lot, but help us out. What's on your heart, or what you believe in this moment about?
Man, this is good, because what's interesting is that I think I took to Twitter and I made some comments on my Twitter. I didn't cover my other social media platforms to view my thoughts on that matter. But I did take to Twitter. And just as a point of order, to be candid, because, the Speak Rock Nation is definitely deserving of it. I believe that's what they appreciate about this platform. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to hold back. We need honesty and we need truthfulness in this age that we live in. My first thoughts on that matter, I definitely cried foul. And you got to understand a lot of the reasons why I cry foul. Even some will say, well, you don't even know the whole story. You weren't there or what have you. One of the things that I do know, even if I wasn't on that situation, there's some things that resonate with your spirit because of who you are and what your makeup is. And you alluded to it. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a retired member of the United States Armed Services, so that means I know what team is. I'm a member of the body of Christ. Once again, I know what team is. I know what it is to be part of a community. I'm a proud black man. I'm made up. The stuff that I'm made up of is the stuff that we all desire to be a part of. We desire to be a part of something. So when I look at any atrocity, I'll say it like this. I heard Bishop T.D. Jakes say, he said, you know what? He said he went to go see The Passion of Christ, and it bothered him when he saw, even in the movie portrayal where he saw Christ being chastised and beaten. Well, not even chastised, just beaten, wrongfully beaten. And he said it bothered him, even though it was a movie. But what T.D. Jakes is made out of is that, hey, I'm a Christian, and this is the God, the deity that I love. And you know what? This bothers me. So T.D. Jakes went on to say, I quote, if you see somebody, harm being done to somebody and it doesn't affect you, it doesn't move you, you don't really love them, end quote. So people can take that for what it's worth. But when you're made of something, you can recognize and you can adhere to. So, and that's not really getting caught up in your feelings or getting emotionally overwhelmed. These are just facts. These are, it's just, there's certain things that happen in nature, in the natural, that you connect with immediately. And I believe we can try to debate that one, but I don't think we're going to go too far in debating that one. Become a parent and you'll understand what I'm saying.
Okay, but let me share a little bit of revelation before you continue on, because you're flowing, and I don't want to interrupt you again.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Because I know this is a hot topic for you, and it can. Well, let me say it like this. Okay, I just want the SPEAKROC universe to recognize that there was a policy, and I guess you want to say, or rule that talks about the length of your hair in a wrestling match. That and if it's a certain length, you got to have a certain, maybe a hairnet or another thing they call on it. And at this particular moment, because the referee didn't make the appearance time, it wasn't adjudicated prior to the match getting ready to begin. So there was some some protocol issues about the length of hair, but was it, the referee did it in an abusive kind of way, or did he do it in a legalistic way? Was he appropriate in taking that stance? And this is the outcry of the people about, was it abuse of power, or was it a racially motivated kind of thing?
No, absolutely. And thank you for sharing as much information as you can, because, it's needed. It's needed. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to incorporate that, information of, revelation into, my replies and my thoughts to that situation. So let me kind of continue to where I was going and make sure I'm going to tap into, what you just continued to share. So for instance, me being a family man, me being a team member, me being part of a unit, if you will, and me being someone that cares about people that I look after, I look at this thing in a holistic viewpoint. So I don't know if everybody does. We're all different. I'm a holistic guy. I'm a team guy. I don't just say, okay, here's this one individual and young man, and then there's the referee. To me, we can try to key in on something, but once again, there's a lot of different things at play here that, trust me, because if you ever go to a court, if you're ever brought up on charges or anything, no one's just going to look at the person who, say if it's a murder, they're not going to look at the person who allegedly committed the murder and the victim. They're going to look at everything connected and all issues surrounding. You understand what I'm saying, E?
I do.
So with that being said, I think we are in error if we don't take all things into account. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to get, people should be persecuted or what have you, but let's take all things into account. So let me kind of quickly get into this. So this, no matter what the referee understood, no matter what the referee's past issues were, no matter if the referee came late and didn't understand this, or if the referee had something else in the referee's mind, to me, that is a factor. But when you're part of a team, he's part of a wrestling team. He has teammates. Not only that, he has adult supervision, which are coaches. And then I am still wondering, where is the family? Where is the mom and dad during this situation? So now let me get back to this. My first thoughts were I cry foul. But as the Bible talks about be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. So as I utilize that principle, I sit back and I say, okay, let me get some more information and let me think about this some more. And then I had to commend the young man because of this. Because I believe a lot of us have found ourselves in this situation. I believe, now this is just me and my thoughts, I believe the young man was overwhelmed by the moment. I believe in being overwhelmed, the young man made a decision. I believe the young man was alone on an island amongst people he trusted, teammates and adults who were his coaches, his training staff, or whatever the case may be. I still believe at that moment that young man was on an island facing a circumstance and had to make a decision alone. Because of that young man, I believe that young man stood in courage and said, you know what? For the greater good of the team. And this is where I took my hat off and I had to salute the young man. For the greater good of the team, no matter the adversity that I'm facing, I'm going to do this for the team. Because I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the team. Now, this is just my opinion. So I believe the young man said, you know what? Let's get the haircut. I'm going to go in this match, and I'm going to win this match, and I'm going to do it for the greater good of the team. Because if we look at the video, the young man, after even winning the match, left in tears. He was bloody from probably sustaining an injury throughout the wrestling match, and he was in tears. So we got tears and blood going on. And if you look deeper beyond the tears and blood, I believe there was a scarring that took place in that young man of hurt feelings of saying, what did I do? I know I made a decision, but I've just endured something that I thought I would never have to go through. And this is what I said to somebody when I took to Twitter. I took to Twitter and I said to this one person who wanted to sit there and just talk to me. I call it talk. Spiritual debate, whatever. And I said to this person, I said, you know what? As an adult, we're supposed to have the best interests of our youth at heart, even when they don't. I'm going to say that again. When a young person doesn't even have their best interest at hand, or they don't fully comprehend, as the adult, it is reasonable to suggest that you as the adult, you supposed to have that child's best interest at hand. Because that was a situation of a large magnitude. And there should have been some coaching, counseling, and mentoring right there as Johnny on the spot to speak to this young man and say, look here, you know what? I can only speak if it was me. Hey, you know what? Hey, look, go ahead.
Let me jump in here, because I think this moment, I believe this. See, that's why I asked you. Do you believe this was a Damascus Road moment, a Kairos moment, a civil rights moment, a moment to stand up? Because I don't believe this moment just happened then. Because let me explain this. Because I don't, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe this was this person's first match.
Oh, you talking about the referee? You talking about the referee?
No, the wrestler,
okay.
Andrew Johnson. I don't believe this was his first. This is what I'm saying. So I don't believe this was his first match ever. Right.
Right.
I don't believe his hair grew to that length overnight. So everybody was surprised when he came there that day that his hair was that length. So I'm trying to figure out, because, and I think he was going in that direction, that you have a coach, you have a mentor, you have that should have known rules, regulation, protocol, processes, and all of that prior to this referee even stepping up. So, if put it this way, if I was a coach and I had a team,
mm-hmm.
and everybody had on the away uniforms, and we're playing an away game, and one come in, whether he's a superstar or the super sub, come in with the home team uniform on. Guess who addressing that?
The coach.
Guess who's addressing that? The coach is addressing that, because the coach understands what the appropriate uniform is, what the rules are, what you can't do, what you can't do, what can do, and those kind of things. So I'm thinking this moment has gravitated to something much larger than the moment that we experienced. Because how I put it this way, even as that's why I open up with parent, you as a coach, you as a mentor, you as a minister, even, and you said, where the parent, even as a parent of a wrestler, you would have known, especially your mama, especially the mama.
Come on,
the mama, like, hey babe, you got to put the hair up today.
Come on now.
You follow what I'm saying? The net, So I'm thinking there was a lot of things that failed prior to this official coming in and exposing their failures.
Now, see, hold on. Stay right there, Eric. See, you said it.
Mm-hmm.
You just said it. You just said, quote, there's a lot of things that failed prior to this engagement, end quote. See, I didn't even prompt you to say that. You just said it. But see, this is the thing, Eric. People don't want to admit that. We don't want to admit there's a lot of things that failed in this situation for that young man to be placed on that island by himself to make a decision of that magnitude. You know what, Eric? To me, I'm sorry, forgive me for my strong language. I believe that's piss poor to me. Because there's no organization I've ever been a part of, especially being part of the United States military. I'm just not built like that. I'm like, hold on. What happened? Okay, let's recap this. Who was around in the situation? What happened? Who did what? Was everybody doing their part? I don't ever look at just one person, especially in the military, of a lower ranking individual. You ain't worth your salt if you sitting there blaming the lowest ranking individual.
Wow.
What was the leaders doing? I'm just not built like that, E. I don't know if you knew that about me or not. I'm not built like that. I'm not going to blame a child. I am not going to leave a child alone in that situation. And watch this, E. And I hope I ain't jumping ahead of myself. Because my whole thought was when I took to Twitter and I responded, I said, you know what? It just ain't the ref. That coach or that training staff member that was doing the haircutting, that person is complicit. Oh, people ain't like that. You're complicit. You're cutting the hair of this young man. Even if that young man, my thing is, spell it out. If that young man was just like adamant in saying, you know what, for the greater good of the team, cut the hair. But I'm with you, Eric. Where was the coach who should have spoke up and said, hey, look, look, sir, you don't have to do this. We just forfeit. And you know what? And the team is with you. Your teammates are with you. We stand with
Absolutely.
you. Because before we sit here and watch you be ridiculed and become a viral video, we gonna stand with you, lock arm, side by side. But that's not what happened. And I think that is one of the most shameful things that could ever take place, is to let a child endure that type of ridicule. No matter, watch this. I don't care what the intentions of the referee was. I don't care if he was straight out prejudiced. I don't care if that referee thought he was just standing on the letter of the law. And you know what? He loved everybody from black, white, polka dot, yellow, green, orange to a Martian on Mars. I don't care. I don't care if that intentions was truly pure. There's something to be said about people that stand up for what is right. I don't care what the motivation was. What's right? Is that where we at now? We're a nation of people who don't want to stand for right in spite of what it is that you face. I just don't think that young man was counseled in the best manner. So therefore, that young man had to do something, and it's evident by the look on his face that was damaging. And I'm going to dare say this, not just, it was, put it like this, it was damaging to his soul. Even though he won the match, he looked drained and defeated.
And not only that, I believe there was a level of undue pressure put on him by the looks, by the non-advice, the non-counsel, what you're saying, the non-instructions, what you're saying, that placed him in a position to make that call. Because it was bigger, and I'm seeing something, and this is what you're saying, I'm seeing something much larger than this wrestling match. Than this hair cutting situation. What you exactly said was, it should not even gotten to the call of the official. It should we should have placed him in a position to have even made that call. What at least without being educated, at least without not being put in the fire to make a decision. There was a whole lot of systems breaking down. Now we, as people of color, can be outraged at the situation, but you need to see sometimes we are outraged at the wrong situation. I'm outraged at the coach. I'm outraged at some of the other people standing by and allowing this thing to take place. That's what my passion is. That's what my conviction is. That's where but I would be upset as a father. Now I don't know what the parents at this match. I'm unsure. Were they at the match? Were they there? Are you familiar if they were there?
You know what? I don't know. The interesting thing is, part of me wants to stay ignorant about their location.
Right. Right. I do. And but here it is. Whether they were there or they wasn't there, right? This is what my heart burns for them is were you in the decision making process? Because I think he was maybe like 16 or whatever. I think his age is or whatever.
Right.
But before they decided to cut the hair, were you in the decision making process? You follow what I'm saying?
That's huge.
Now, if you wasn't, that's an issue because it might not have been hair. It might have been something else next time.
Ooh.
But that's why I'm saying this situation is much bigger, much larger than we're saying it to be. Because while you call crying foul, I am too. At the system, at the breakdown of what else could have taken place because somebody is saying that you are not following the letter of the law. What other system has broke down? Like you're saying, and I'm saying, it shouldn't have even gotten to a corrupt, maybe racist, to make a judgment call to say, hey, you can't do this. You can't do this. So, but I've also read, to be quite honest and be quite upfront, I've also read that this situation is not a isolated situation. There have also been other mat side haircuts. Because the thing about it, obviously, if somebody there, got clippers, so obviously,
right.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't go to Walmart and say, look, somebody got to go get some. They had clippers on site, so obviously this is a situation where it could have happened.
Well, I don't know if they was using full clippers.
Huh?
I think it looked like to me from the picture, from the video, it looked like to me that they were using the shears that they would use to cut bandages. Like if to use on injuries or to cut clothing away. They're kind of like those medical shears. That they use to cut.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it looked like those because they're kind of bent at an angle and they're kind of heavy duty shears. That's what they look like. I could be wrong. They could have been they could have been some teacher scissors. I don't know. Either way, it's amazing to me that y'all was resourceful. Like that's the other thing. Like y'all look, Eric, look. And I gotta be candid because people know me as this. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I love God, but I'm not going to not speak on. I'm not going to not speak about systems because in order to come against a thing, you got to know what a thing is. In order to pray against it, you got to know what it is. You can't. I'm the kind of person I believe in specific prayer, direct prayer. There's a time for general prayer. God heal the land. That's general. That's, okay. If God knows your heart and your thoughts or whatever, I guess God will get it. But I know there's times where God is like, hey, be specific. I've been part of prayers like that where we've talked about, God heal Sister Bertha, heal her blood cells of the sickle cell trait that, do you understand I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being honest. Cause my whole thing, what I'm saying is let's not play that game. There's time we want to be all general and we want to be general about things that make us uncomfortable, or things that we feel helpless about. We want to be real general. God heal world hunger. God heal racism. Make everybody love everybody. But when it comes down to somebody being sick, man, we got the doctor's reports. We speak in medical terms that you ain't never heard of before. We using all kind of lingo as if you went to the highest medical school in the land, and you talking to God in that medical jargon. So we not gonna play that game about not being specific. So the point that I'm making is, if there's a white supremacist hand at play here, guess what? Your prayers need to be directed towards that. Come on, somebody. Let's be honest. You know, not only do we protest, not only do we speak with strength against the world systems that try to cripple people and hold people back, but we add prayer to, and this is consistent to what you and I have been doing, Eric. We've always said there are spiritual and practical ways to address issues that we go through in this world. Have we not? This
is what we preach.
This is what there are spiritual and practical ways. And the thing is, we yield to God to be able to give us the wisdom on in the manner in which we go about addressing those issues. And I'm gonna say it like this. You know, we love to praise the pioneers and the giants of the civil rights movement, but yet we minimize the actions in which they or the acts of how they conducted themselves. Probably the largest face of the civil rights movement being probably the most prominent and famous. That doesn't mean he's technically did the greatest work or whatever the case may be, but arguably the face of the civil rights movement being Martin Luther King. Guess what? He's a minister. He's a preacher. He's a man of God. And guess what? He was smart enough to know this Morehouse graduate, if you will, with the spiritual intellect and the academic intellect, to be able to say, you know what? These are the manners in which I have to address these issues. Some's going to require prayer. Some's going to require peaceful protest. Some's going to require me being a great orator and giving awesome speeches. But never did he shy away from addressing the oppression and the supremacist systems that came against the people that he was fighting for. And Eric, and I got to say this, I hope I'm not going too much of a tangent. I believe that that's where we're falling the era in this day and age. We don't want to speak directly to the systems that's trying to make life hard for people, because we want to stay in good graces. We don't want to upset anyone. We don't want to upset the media. We don't want to upset social media. We don't want to upset the church. We don't want to upset your social clubs. We don't want to upset nobody. We don't want to call nothing out, because it seems like we become fearful that it can be misconstrued and turned against us. And all I would say is, and I'll end it with this so you can jump back in here, E. Where would we be if those civil rights pioneers, if they took that approach?
Man, you on fire. You're on fire, because the thing about it is, what happens, and even if we call the thing out, and we called it out in just being naive, or called it out haphazardly, or called the issue out not on purpose, but it just came out, then guess what? When someone says something about it, then you apologize for calling it out. Because now you think you are bigger than the situation that you called out. And because your name, your identity, you don't want to go through anything. You think one record sale, somebody ain't gonna come to your show, somebody not gonna give you a call, somebody not gonna invite you back to the office, because you want to apologize for the thing you called out. And that's the issue, because now we talk around stuff, and not directly to anything. Jesus, Jesus called the thing out. Jesus called you brood of vipers. What do you come out here to see? Jesus said, where are your accusers? That they came to accuse you when the lady caught in adultery, caught in the very act. He said, him without sin cast the first stone. He called the specific thing out. So anyway, nevertheless, but help us with this. Now we recognize some system breakdown. We recognize there's some things going on, but help the SpeakRoc Nation be able to train up their child before he got to be 16, before he got to be 15, before he got to be 13. How do you train your child or raise your child to be able to, if and had to endure or had to come up to a situation similar to that, how to handle that? How should these young parents today that raising children or providing wisdom or counseling or mentoring relationship, how should they coach or train? How do they learn from this situation? Because it don't necessarily have to be a cutting of the hair at a wrestling match. It could be a situation on the job. It could be a situation in church. It could be a situation in the grocery store. It could that you come up against and you need to call foul, and there's a situation where it's funny because I remember, I was watching this movie, and it was a spiritual movie, and I forgot which one it was, but at the end of the movie, it was a Hispanic guy, and the Hispanic guy up for a promotion, right? And there was two people interviewing the job, and the interviewing him, and the interview asked him a question. And I'm going to paraphrase it. It's like, okay, if we had 20 widgets and we need to make 25 widgets for the day, right? We need a supervisor who would say that we had 25, even if we only had 20, right? And this is the kind of person we need. We need a team person. We need a team player who would kind of just go with the flow, or or make those calls because you want the organization to excel or whatever. And he asked the gentleman, do you think you could be that guy? You can be that guy that we need. And so the guy thought about it because he was kind of they were kind of destitute of finances. They need this job. It was like one of those kids. It was like when Job's wife told him, curse God and die. It was always one of those, because his wife was like, you got to do it, blah, blah, blah. So he thought about it and said, I need this job, but my character and my relationship with the Lord won't allow me to do that. Won't allow me to take this promotion based on a lie, based on what you want me to do. That wouldn't be in integrity. But the whole thing about that is they was just testing him to see if he would have taken a job under those circumstances. Help us train up our children to be, when they place in situations like this, how to handle those difficult situations.
Man, I love your spirit, man. I love how you flowing with this, because I was just thinking the same thing. Like, as the conversation is progressing, and your segues are impeccable right about now. Let me say it like this, man, and let me put myself out there and be a little candid. First things first, man. As an adult, you got to know who you are, and you got to know your character as an adult. That's just real talk. And I'm not trying to say anything to insult, especially the parents of that young wrestler or any other adult parent But I'm just gonna be honest though. You need to take it. You need to reflect and take an account of the type of person of who you are. Are you an easygoing person who just goes along with anything? Are you a person that's an opportunist? Are you a person who will compromise in order to get ahead? And I think those are honest questions because people do it. Let's just be honest. Let's not play with this. Trust me. I've been in the workforce for many years. You know, and I've seen the scenarios in which you're talking about. You know, and I see because we're all cut different. We were all raised different. We were raised by different people up under different teachings. Our morals and value system are different. Our principles are different. So everybody acts in a different manner. And the truth of the matter is everybody wasn't raised in a manner in which levels of high character. Some people probably never heard of that word until I'm just going to be honest, until they get to talking to somebody like you or I. Or they're part of a environment or an organization that where that is part of the culture, high character, excellence, principles. Some people aren't part of an institution which emphasizes those things. And therefore, you know what? You just grow up and you manage the best way you can with how you were taught. So therefore, if that's how you are, 9 times out of 10, that's exactly how you're going to raise your children or teach your children. Now, I've addressed the problem. Let me give some solution. Let me give some clarity about how to answer your question. How do we raise our children up to be better? How to be able to manage themselves and how they should conduct themselves when in the face of adversity, in the face of challenges that may want them to compromise the characters or the teachings that they've learned from their parents. And then I said I was going to be a little candid about myself, Eric. And as you know, because you know me, you don't know all situations that I've been through, but I know you know of one in particular, and I know it wasn't understood with all people. I know when I got married and when I started having children, I knew, my vow to God was it's not about me anymore. It's about my family and everything that I do. And I know there's times where it can be questioned, but I take a stand as a man and know what I'm talking about. When I say it's about me and my family, that's exactly what I mean. There's been times in situations and I now use the church, where I felt as if, a situation that occurred, a situation that happened, and I believe that all parties had something to do with it, be it the leadership of the church, be it myself, be it the individual that I was in conflict with. I believe there was a type of misunderstanding, and I didn't think it got handled appropriately. I believe there was the situation was definitely one-sided when there was trying to be some solution to it. And you know what? It took me a while to understand, like, okay, that's just the way it is. When someone has the upper hand in a situation or they're in the higher echelon, and that's the same way with a job or whatever, usually they're going to see it in their way. They're going to see it in their manner. Okay, fine. But still, even to myself, I've had to say to myself, me being a man, me being a husband, and me being a father, my character wouldn't allow me to be mishandled, if you will. My character wouldn't allow me to, and some would look and say, well, it was just pride. You wouldn't adhere to what was being handed down to you as it pertains to correction because of your pride. And, that's a person's opinion, and they're entitled to it. But within my heart and within my spirit, I was like, you know what? No, this thing wasn't really fully acknowledged, and I wasn't acknowledged as a human being, as a man, as a member of a team. Somebody that's valued. So if that's not happening, what do I do? Do I just go along with it, or do I take a stand? And for me, as a man, I said, you know what? I take a stand, and I'm going to be okay with it. So I said all that to say, if that's the caliber of person you are, that's what you would teach your children. So because I have a history of taking a stand, even when it wasn't the popular decision. Please catch this. This is where I want people to catch. If you ever want to know the spirit of SPEAKROC and how I get down, please understand this. Regardless, understand this about me. And I'm going to share this with you all. In spite of what other people may think, when you know what you know, you take a stand. Even when it doesn't seem popular, you take a stand. When others don't think that it's right, when you know what you know, you still stand. Because if you can do that on, say, worldly issues, you setting up a good track record for yourself to do it definitely on spiritual issues. Because when situations come against you, when your homeboys or your homegirls are doing something, or there's a situation that come up on your job and other people are doing things that don't that aren't conducive or in line with the best principles of doing that job, if it's stealing or whatever the case may be, because of your principles, because of your morals and your values, even though you taking a stand not to do it is not popular with those that are doing it, guess what? You still stood. The Bible says, when to have done all, stand. So if you can do that, you're going to sleep well at night. Now, let me continue to progress. This, because of my past situations, my history of standing in the face of adversity, in the face of people shaking their head and looking at me saying, brother, Rock, you just ain't, he prideful, or he this, that, and another. I have a history of standing and being okay with it. Therefore, I can teach my children, hey, guess what? This is going to happen to you. People are not going to agree with everything that you do. There's going to be situations where you're going to be tempted. Be it in school, be it on the street, be it at the party, be it at the restaurant, be it at the outing, whatever it is. You're going to be in a situation where you're going to have people that you're supposed to trust, as in adults, be it a coach, be it an educator, be it a police, whoever it is. You're going to be in that. You're going to find yourself in that situation. You got to ask yourself, are you going to compromise to just get along? Are you going to be happy with yourself, or are you trying to be happy with other people just to get along? And this is what I teach to my children. The principles that we share with you, the spiritual principles and the morals and values. And watch this. Here's the other key thing that I like to do. I like to make it personal with my kids. I say, you know what? You're a Wilder. That means something. You come from good stock. You come from your mom and your dad. Now, that might sound corny to a lot of people, but for far as my house, that's how we get down. Because I do that to let them know you somebody. Like, this last name that you carry, this is just not for nothing. Everything that I share with you, everything that I go over and beyond, it may seem as if I'm animated. It might seem like I'm heavily passionate. I say, when have I not been this way since you've known me? I go to these levels to ensure that you get it, and to ensure that you value where you come from, and in return, the byproduct of that is that you value yourself. So if I can build you up like this and fortify you when I'm not around, or if it's a situation that I can't be Johnny on the spot on, I know that I've equipped you with what it takes for you to persevere, endure, and meet whatever challenge. And you're going to be happy with yourself. So my thing is, first thing, take an account of who you are. If you're not a person that stands for anything, or you have solid morals and values, you might want to do some work on yourself. Number two, encourage and affirm your children in knowing who they are and where they come from. Use your experience to let that be the foundation to give them the morals, the principles, and values that they need to be able to operate even when not in your presence. And number three, can stay in this for the long haul. Continue to talk to your children. Let it be everlasting. It's not a one-time conversation. It's the conversation goes as many times as it needs to be had. And what you will see is, and I'll use it in a colloquialism that a lot of people like to use, you would have created you some mini-me's. You would have replicated yourself into your children. And you would have confirmed that, guess what? They come from good stock, and you would have built up and fortified your children that you love. So to me, I pray to God everybody caught that. That's how, in my mind, how you build up your children to be able to endure what they're going to go through in this world.
My God. That Speak Rock Nation, Speak Rock Universe. You heard it. You heard it from the pioneer of and originator of Speak Rock. You see the heart, the compassion, the love, the care, the how he articulate how. Not only did he examine that there was a problem, but he explained how to deal with the problem. And this is what this movement is about. This is what he is. This is a part of who he is. It's not just what he does. This is who he is, and he showed you. Now, the thing I would kind of add to that, we definitely have to be who we say we are in front of our children. Mm-hmm. We have to be, we can't say. I remember an episode of Blackish. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the show Blackish,
yes,
where the father and the oldest son had, the son is taking a gap year, and the dad allowed him to come to work with him. Okay. But when he came to work with him, they were I guess he works with or for some white gentlemen or whatever, and they were kind of treating an advertisement situation where I'm assuming it's an advertisement or something like that in a derogatory way, an offensive way. And at this particular time, the son was there, and he was like, he was just taking it all in. And the father, Dre, I think that's his name, was acting like he was, the man. And then the son had to check him. She said, "You deal with racism. You teach us about racism and bigotry and all that at home, but it just didn't seem like you did that at work." Ooh. This is what we're talking about. Ooh. It didn't seem like you did that at work. And this is what we're talking about. We can say one thing to our children, but if our children don't see us replicate that, or children don't see us act out that, or our children don't see us carry out the thing that we tell them.
Yes, sir.
It's like to tell your children, don't smoke, but you smoke. Don't drink, but you drink. It's one of those things. Do as I say, but not as I do. Now, and then another thing you were talking about taking a stand. See, because if you don't take the stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. You'll fall for a lot of things. You'll fall for, a whole lot of things that we're talking about that will get you in a lot of trouble. And then, lastly, what I would say about is about training up your child in the way they should go. And when they get old, like you were saying, and when you're not around, when they get an age of accountability, when you're not around, when they get in a situation when you're not around, whatever you placed on the inside of them will come up and come up right in that moment. And then you'd be like, yeah, they were listening. They are wild. They did. Yeah. So, and this is what we're talking about. So, Speak Rock Universe, man, this is what we're talking about. This is what this platform is about, taking a stand. I really believe this situation was much greater than this wrestling thing, because you got to see it and like the minister said, in a more holistic way. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of breakdown before this situation even occurred that did not take place. In our opinion, or at least in the opinion of many, that it didn't take place. It won't just about the racist part of it, and it shouldn't have gotten to that place. So, hey, sir, hey, you nailed it.
Oh man,
you nailed it. You nailed it.
You took me there, E. Wait,
what you say?
You took me there, man.
Man, yeah, I knew this was something that bless the audience about, man, because it's in you. And what's in you will definitely come out, and we always talk about it, it's hate in you, guess what? Coming out. Hate. Love in you, love's coming out. It's faith in you, faith gonna come out. The wisdom in you, wisdom gonna come out.
Right.
So this is what we did. This is what we try to do. We try to put that in you, from what what the Lord gives us, and how we bounce off each other, and iron sharpens iron. So this is what we try to do with the SPEAKROC universe.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, look, man, it was blessed, dude. I'm going to say it this time. Hey, dude, this was Hallmark. I really feel it's Hallmark.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you why. I believe this is a great segue into 2019 due to the fact that, we're talking about standing and we're talking about fortifying, right? When systems break down, when there's systems in place that's not at your best interest, you got to be able to hold on to something. You got to grab something. And we're talking about children, but it's not just only for children. It's for adults too. What's in you, like you just said, what's in you is going to come out. And this is something that I was thinking, Ian, I'm just going to share it real quick. You have you're a published author of 2 books. And I told you, we was off the air. I told you I was going to, definitely one of the books, I was going to, commit to being read again, because where, the SPEAKROC platform is going, I'm going to need that guidance, from that book. And, and that one is the balancing act, first things first. And what I would like to do, Eric, going forward, and we'll give this some prayer, because we can do it any time in the year. I would like to go ahead, possibly chapter by chapter, and let's have discussions on, the balancing act. Let's cover, the topics, that can be beneficial to us, because guess what? We're going to need this kind of stuff in our system too. And that's part of the growing and developing that I was talking about earlier. We got to grow, we got to develop, we got to change. You know what? Because I believe going into 2019, a lot of people are going to be uncomfortable. And they're going to be uncomfortable because God is trying to take them to higher heights. There's going to be new issues that's going to arise, that's going to require some attention. And the question is, what do we have in us to make us better? So that was my thought, E. We gonna put that in prayer.
I mean, that's good stuff. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I said we're gonna put that in prayer. See.
That's good stuff. I'm.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was saying that. Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm under authority. I'm a man under authority. So whatever you say, go. So so whatever you want to do, we're gonna do. Praise God. Because what's happening I just believe, this is what I just believe by my spirit, and I just know some things by the spirit. Those who've been following SPEAKROC, you have grown from January to today. If you heard 2 programs, you have 3 programs, you followed them, you heard a minister or whatever, you have grown. So in your growth spiritually and with the wisdom and the understanding that you have now, your assignment has grown. Your baby on the inside of you is leaped and been filled with the Holy Ghost and ready to be birthed and not aborted. You're gonna need wisdom. You're gonna need some practical wisdom in how to balance it all, how to make sure you don't run too fast before God, because now you got this new baby and you got this new idea, this new invention or this new business. And you don't want the devil to speed you up, because that's one of his tricks and his plan. If he can't slow you down, and then we talk a little bit about this in the Balancing Act, he can speed you up. And speeding you up, it will be much worse than slowing you down. So anyway, I say all of this to say you've grown, and because you have submitted yourself to follow this man of God, this movement, then you're going to need this kind of wisdom.
Yes, sir. That's on point. With that being said, man, look, I had fun today, E. I don't know about you. This was just good for my spirit, good for the soul, and I'm you know, and I'm excited, man. Things that's getting ready to pop off. I'm excited. So, man, I thank you for being with us today, man. Thank you for your time. And look, man, we gonna be in talks, man. We gonna be in talks because I want to make sure I got things in place before we start our next episode. So I'm definitely gonna be hitting you up and say, all right, you know, there's some things I gotta, get in order because I'm definitely looking at increasing the platform. So I'm just excited. Anyway, I'm gonna say too much. But anyway, with that being said, hey, look, this your brother SPEAKROC. Hey, I'm just a brother from Detroit. What do I know? I might know a little, I might know a lot, I might not know nothing. But in either event, we can live, love, and learn together, laugh together. And you know what I'm saying? Once again, I'm godly proud and excited of my brother E, that he's joining us. Hey, blessed 2018. Look, we want y'all to have a great end of y'all year. Please be safe. Please do everything that you can in your power, along with God, to be here and be present and to be on this platform in 2019, because we need y'all. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. So thank you. E, until next time, brother.
Next time, sir.
Yes, sir. And we out. Peace.
We out. Peace.